Hi, my name is Shandy Hart, and the organization selected is YRC Freight. Currently, I'm an employee at YRC Freight as a forklift driver, dock worker. Someday, with my education that I get from Cal State San Bernardino, I might pursue a position as upper or middle management. And until then, I just continue working toward that goal. YRC Freight reflects Yellow Transportation, founded in 1924 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Purchase of and subsequent merger with Roadway, founded in 1930 in Akron, Ohio. YRC Freight is the largest subsidiary of YRC Worldwide Inc., with corporate headquarters in Overland Park, Kansas. YRC Freight is the leading transporter of industrial, commercial, and retail goods, specializing in solutions for businesses across North America through full service network and advanced information technologies and proactive customer service. The table of contents consists of the introduction, which I just went over, the organization, which is going to be on the following page, and then I'm going to work with and discuss some of human relations theories at YRC Freight, and then communication issues at YRC Freight, and cultural and intercultural issues, and ethical issues and theories at YRC, and finally I'll wrap it up with a conclusion. Uh, YRC Freight provides a service of seamless transportation throughout Canada, Mexico, and the United States, including our domestic ocean service to Alaska, Hawaii, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. YRC has reliable 2-day, 3-day, and coast-to-coast service connecting key markets. YRC Freight also has expedited and guaranteed deliveries by ground or air with YRC Freight critical time service. YRC Freight believes in a classical management theory, also called scientific management theory, entered into the mainstream into the early 1900s with an emphasis on increasing worker productivity developed by Frederick Taylor. Basically, YRC Freight has a typical uh, top-down management style or hierarchy, with the top person in the business being the CEO, and then the president and vice president, and then middle management, and finally staff and employees. My personal area of interest would be to be an upper or middle management position. The human relations theory states that management theory is research belief that people desire to be part of a supportive team that facilitates development and growth. Now, YRC Freight, the object is to treat employees as if as as natural employees as if work is as natural as play or rest. Just as motivational theory states, we want people to feel comfortable with their environment in any management position. It is a great idea to share the big picture. And sharing the big picture objectives toward which their work is aimed helps employees and managers complete the communication process so that each employee knows what the other is thinking. YRC communication is a major issue. Top down management is essential for the subordinates to understand conditions of the daily task. Classical theory, the managers at YRC enjoy empowering the employees to innovate and make as many independent decisions as they can handle. And this helps employees to become more autonomous and grow in the business. As a manager and as an employee, it is important to continue training and developing employees. Increasing freedom and responsibility as their capabilities grow helps to understand the working culture and environment. And the human resources theory at YRC Freight spends valuable time recruiting and employees for its different levels of employment. Training people for its different positions helps to cover skills gaps created within the company. A final objective for human resources theory is in maintaining good relationships between organizations' stakeholders. Stakeholders are anyone who has vested interest in the business's success, including the owner, managers, employees, and customers. YRC Freight open and positive communication must be the hallmark of maintaining good working relationships. Understanding upward, downward, and horizontal communication is key to understanding roles at work. There must be an effort to maintain clear communication at all times. Communication. Communication is a key issue as the time zones are not the same. California is halfway through its workday before the rest of the United States starts working, and it is this way for all moving companies, freight moving companies. And the tyranny of distance is overcome with frequent emails and teleconferences with contract holders and employees. Uh, Communication culture. Supportiveness is important at YRC Freight. Manager acknowledge the human needs of all the employees. The climate is characterized by respect and constructive evaluation. It's important to make communication a two-way street. Employees need to be respected implicitly by delegating authority. All employees should be punished and treated fairly. It is important to acknowledge the good and the bad behaviors of all employees. Supportive leaders value and facilitate upward, downward, and horizontal communication. Through leadership style, trust and credibility is increased. Managers respect and support employees when communication is valued. Crisis management. At YRC, specific detail regarding crisis management and detail are written in the YRC Worldwide Code of Business Conduct Handbook. Intercultural issues. Culturally, high and low context cultures. Culturally, YRC Worldwide believes in a supplier program that recognizes diversity and beneficial contributions of our partners. The program reinforces our leadership role in those communities with which within they share their livelihood and success. YRC also believes in this program has the potential of creating better partners, stronger customers, and economic growth of the community members. YRC owes respect, dignity, and fair treatment to all. The commitment is to provide fair and reasonable access to business status, structure, and ownership. The team at YRC consists of members that are both high context and low context. Because of the years of working together and the relationships that have been built, there is a wide spectrum of high and low context cultured people. Many employees have been around for years and know what the rules are, how to think, and how to behave, so the rules do not have to be explicitly stated. For new employees, this makes high context cultures harder to deal with because they don't understand culture's unwritten laws. Barriers. At YRC Freight, diversity is prominent. People come from many different educational backgrounds and thrive at different levels. Ethnicity plays a part by creating cultural and language barriers. Socially, men and women get along at YRC. Men and women both work together in similar settings and there's no biases as what one can or can't do. YRC is an equal opportunity employer and does not discriminate against race, gender, color, creed, religion, or background. Overcoming barriers. At YRC, we like to assume an egalitarian framework. We are open to cultural differences. We like our employees. To be aware of and question their own ethnocentric attitudes and beliefs. Because of the ease of travel and pervasiveness of communication, technology, and political economic reliance on other countries, it has become increasingly important to understand the effects of intercultural communication and organizational success. We all need to communicate in this organization. Speaking clearly and confidently is essential for a good working experience. Organizational men and women need to examine the communication that affect intercultural interactions and become dedicated to overcoming these obstacles when they communicate. Ethics. Ethically, one of the reasons we have a great company is the reason that YRC has good people working for them. Each of the employees need to do the right thing while working for or representing YRC Freight, including its subsidiaries and affiliates. The Code of Business Conduct, the code, helps us all agree on what doing the right thing means. All of the YRC employees are committed to the highest standards of integrity and compliance with all laws and regulations which apply to the business as a company. It is the core of the corporate legal compliance program and applies to all employees, including directors, officers, representatives, agents, contractors, consultants, joint ventures, and anyone acting on YRC's behalf. And employing ethical yardsticks. At YRC, ethical yardsticks are in place for all employees, not just the code of ethics help to structure our employees, but it helps the way we believe as a team. At YRC, ethical issues are important in the way that trust and behavior are correlate. The managers trust the employees to do a job effectively and with respect, trust them not to deviate from behavioral issues so that nobody gets hurt. Clean communication and fair treatment need to be in place for all employees. Four rulers of consideration. YRC Freight expects its employees to promptly report any behavior that potentially violates the code of conduct, any local, state, or federal law or company policies. While employees of YRC worldwide are expected to help their companies achieve market leadership and business success, business practices and violation of the code of conduct or the law by any employee will not be tolerated. Strategic ambiguity. At YRC Freight, strategic ambiguity it helps to promote free thinking. Problem solver, Problem solvers is what helps to be innovative. Having a vision at each shift and each day helps the organization to grow, which in turn helps the company thrive. Although there may be arguments against strategic ambiguity, autonomy is what the key idea is behind this theory. Autonomy helps management focus on larger and more present issues at hand. In conclusion, all of the departments recognize the objective of the company. Each employee holds his or her pride in showing up to work on time and providing the best possible service. With this outlook, YRC can continue to provide a shipping service that remains a competitor in the freight moving business today. YRC Freight is important to understand the different theories that keep the organizational culture flowing. First of all, knowing what the organization does and how it communicates, then understanding the culture and intercultural issues, finally wrapping it up with ethics and how and why ethics is constructed. The people at YRC are dedicated to service for their organization, enjoy what they do. The management structure at YRC is fully functional and resembles a classical hierarchy aspect with upward, downward, and horizontal management with all positions in place.